Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back chipping away at my new 1964 Volvo 1800S. So in last video we went ahead and just started doing things that I briefly saw when I first got the car, such as like the weather stripping on the windows. I did the steering coupler, which moving it around the garage, it feels so much better in the steering wheel. The steering wheel used to have a lot of play in it, and I mean, it is a car from the 60s. It's gonna have play in it anyway. It's not gonna be nice and tight like a new car, but there is the nice new steering coupler. Compared to the old one, it should make a world of difference on how it felt driving. Now, I've only driven this thing once, and it felt really bad, but that should definitely take out a lot of the issues I felt, such as like vibrations in the steering wheel, a ton of play. It was like really notchy when you turn the wheel, and I mean the old one, as you guys remember, was falling apart literally as you turn the wheel. So that was definitely a safety hazard, and for comfortability it should be much better now. And speaking of comfortability, if we go inside of this nice red interior that looks nice, it does not feel comfortable at all. And for one of many reasons is the pedals. I know it probably doesn't look it on camera, but the pedals are pretty far away from like when you sit completely down, so you have to be full like leg extension to push in the clutch pedal. It's just not very comfortable at all. And then you could just say pull the seat forward, but like many things on this car, if you push the lever, it has the adjustable bracket. This thing does not move at all. It doesn't even budge. Same with the passenger seat, so super uncomfortable. And that's not the only issue. Some of you may remember from last video, when you sit on the seat, your butt goes straight to the floor. And that's because somebody put a pair of jeans on both sides, driver and passenger, to I guess try and prevent that, but that's the ground. These usually have these straps right here, but they are completely dry rotted and snapped. Most of them are completely snapped. And that style for, I guess, suspension in the seat is on all of the seats, and as you can see, you can get a better view of these straps right here, and these are just absolutely shot. They are completely dry rotted. Like, as you can see, I'm literally ripping that. They're shot. So those straps, you can buy them. A company called Pirelli makes them. They are relatively pricey when you have to do the entire interior, but there are two styles you could get. You could get the Pirelli version, which I believe are these, and these are the ones that do get dry rotted. I mean, when they're brand new, I'm sure it's great, but they do dry rot. Or you could get this version, which is just basically webbing, and webbing is super strong, doesn't dry rot, cost effective if you're kind of on a budget, and it should be able to replace these with no issue. So that is one thing I want to do today very badly. I think that's what we're going to start off with, because it is just so uncomfortable to sit in this thing. You're basically just sitting on the floor. Once I rip off all the jeans, I do want to see about why this mechanism is not working, and if for whatever reason I can't fix it, even though everything should be exposed once these are off, I might just remove this seat and see what we could do about it there. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it and begin the process of making this thing much more comfortable. Here are the straps. They are rock solid, and here is the denim that was the seat. Looks like it used to be a jacket, but what I need to do now is take all of these little clips off of the straps, because I'm going to be reusing them. So we have the whole entire bottom here exposed, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pop off the seat and take a look at these little sliders here and see what's going on, because it is not moving at all. I've been trying off camera and it is not budging. I even got out a rubber mallet and tried like breaking them free, but no luck. So I'm just gonna pop this off and see if it moves with the seat off, and maybe it's just like bolted wrong, or the mechanism itself could be not working, but we'll try and figure this out. So the seat is out, and it looks like that the slider mechanism itself is working, but it's this side that's not moving. It's got a little play in it, but not much. Oh, there we go. Just a little. There we go. just hasn't moved in a long time. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit of lubricant down on the tracks just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. Kind of work it in there, and the mechanism does in fact work and lock into place. So sweet. Alright, so now that we got the sliders all good to go, I'm going to take this opportunity and vacuum out underneath the seat, because it's not very often that you get this opportunity to really get in all the crevices. So, got the vacuum here. Go ahead, clean this all up real quick. Make sure you don't vacuum up the bolts. So we are looking much nicer. It's not very often you get an opportunity to really get inside the crevices of your car. And you know how annoying it is to vacuum when you're cleaning inside of your car, down in the valley in the seat. So I am going to go ahead and wait to put on the new underseat webbing until it's in the car, just because it's super wobbly, and like, you know, I have to pull pretty good tension on it, and when the seat's all the way back, it just falls back. So it's gonna be a little bit difficult. So instead, what I'll go ahead and do is begin doing the passenger side and do the same thing, get all the hooks and everything ready to go, get the seat adjuster working hopefully as easy on that side as it was on this side, and then I'll go ahead, hop in the back seat, rip out all of those straps, and basically do the same process. Probably not going to record all of it just because all the seats, the process is pretty much exactly the same. Let me go ahead and just begin on the passenger side. Actually, it was brought to my attention by one of you guys actually that this is not a 1964 grill. And after doing some Googling, you guys were right. This is a later model grill, and I want to find the 64 grill, but it is, no joke, thousands of dollars. So if I can find a used one out there, or if one of you have a used one, definitely comment or DM me on Instagram, because this grill is beat up anyway. It's dented here, has like weld marks or like burn holes there. I mean, it's, you know, not ugly, but the one meant for 64 is definitely much nicer, and if I could get a new one, it'd definitely make the front of this car look much, much better. So let's see if we get this lucky. Okay, perfect. So this side works, and once again, it is this side that is all jacked up. There we go. Wow, this one's tight. Man, these things were seized up. Beautiful, that feels great. Alright, once again, I'm gonna vacuum all of this garbage up, and it looks to be mold. That's great. And then I'll go ahead and, like I said before, get on the back seat. So guys, we are looking good. This carpet cleaned up really, really nice. Now it's time to do the back. The back is all cleared of the straps and all vacuumed out and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the back first and then work my way forward. So I'm going to be making my own strap completely, like cutting and everything like this. And as you can see, the old strap kind of folded in on itself. Now obviously all of them are now destroyed because I had to get out each of the clips, but basically the strap just wraps around the clip and then it's just kind of fastened together at the ends. Now I'm not going to be doing it quite like that. I'm going to be doing it sort of like a net, and it'll all make sense once this starts coming together. But I believe the front seats take like 3.5 meters each of like material, but I'm just gonna, this is 12 yards, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just start rolling this thing out, and need to make sure that it stays nice and tight when I loop around. It'll all make more sense once I start doing it, but obviously this doesn't fold in on itself, so I just need to make something quick, just so it has a little bit of a loop in it. So we're gonna go ahead and give this idea a shot. Basically I'm gonna try to drill a hole in the middle of this. I don't think it'll affect the strength of it at all. Webbing is very strong, and I'm basically just going to put a bolt through it with a pretty large washer so it has a good clamping force. As you can see, it basically goes over the entire area of it, but I basically need to line this up so it's not, so the washer isn't like on the edge of it, so the clip can still get through, but basically right below it. Put that in there, fits perfect. Basically something like that. Alright, now that the bolt's through, tighten it down, and that is my idea. Maybe throw a washer on the back. I don't really think I need to. And that isn't going anywhere. I think that should be able to hold the weight of a person, which is all this is really going to be needed for. So I just went ahead and threw a washer on the back just to, you know, really make sure it has a good clamping force. Not as overkill as the one on front here, but it's definitely should suffice. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put this on and then start routing it with the other hooks. It'll all make sense once I start doing it, but I think this should work. It works in my head at least. So basically, for the back at least, I'm going to go from side to side and then across just to make sure everything's good. But what I might actually have to do, since this is 12 yards, is cut the length that I need instead of pulling 12 yards through each loop. But basically, it's going to have the end here. Sorry, the lighting's not that great, but it's hooked onto the little clip, and then it's going to run across and then basically loop through that clip and then come around both sides. Make sure it's tight on each basically direction it goes, and then cut it where I need. Basically do this on the end, and then I'm going to cut it a little bit shorter just so I need to pull it into the hole and make sure that it stays nice and tight. Now obviously I don't want to go absolutely insane, because once you put weight on this, it's going to put even more tension on this, and you don't want like these little clips and stuff snapping off. Here is it basically looped around with the clips. As you can see, that is the idea, and then I'm going to do that end on this end. So basically I just need to mark it how it is, and then once it's marked, cut it. It is very, very important that we do cut this correctly, because as you can see when they're slacking it, that ain't gonna hold. That ain't gonna hold much. So once we pull it tight, you can see how much nicer it gets. Alright guys, so I just basically did this side quick, and it feels really, really good. I hope it's not too tight, but I just need to cut the slack right here, and then we could go ahead and basically do the same thing. And for the up and down motions, I'm going to either do, you know, one strand here and then one strand there, or just go all the way across. I'll see how it feels going all the way across. Wow, that is comfortable. I've just gone ahead and finished the back seat, and it came out absolutely amazing. It is so tight, not enough that it's like uncomfortable. I just sat on it and it is literally perfect. I'm so pumped on that. And now I could actually sit on this thing and it doesn't sink through. It stays completely flush with the edge of the seat here. This is so comfortable. I mean, headroom wise, it's not great, but I mean, knowing that somebody could sit back here if they really wanted to is nice, and they will at least be comfortable sitting. If you're taller than like 5'8", though, not gonna happen. Alright, so now that we are all done with the rear seat, we could go ahead and start throwing in the front seats and start doing the webbing on that. Oh wow, that is nice. Oh wow, that is so much higher. Oh, that is perfect. The seat's more forward now. I could actually hit the pedal without my legs being fully extended. I can actually see over the steering wheel, over this massive steering wheel. Oh, it's so comfortable now. That is so nice. The driver's seat is all in mounted and has its webbing on, and it is awesome. As you can see, has a very good amount of resistance. I think it's absolutely perfect. Like, it still has enough that it's comfortable and doesn't, you know, you're not sitting and hitting your head on the roof, but with the cushion on, it is absolutely perfect. There is one slight issue, not a big deal. I am pretty much out of webbing to use. This is not going to be enough for the passenger side, so I can't just go ahead and overnight that. It's not a big deal. I actually have two pieces, but still, either way, they're both way too short to be used for the passenger side. But I'm still able to go ahead and mount the passenger seat, and then once, hopefully tomorrow, once they come in, I can just go ahead and do the webbing. And just like that, the passenger seat is in, and not only does everything way more functional, but like the carpet looks so nice Now that we were able to like vacuum everything, now I can slide the seat back. There we go. That's nice. So guys, I've just gone ahead and replaced the overdrive switch with a brand new one. The old one was literally just a rusty knob. So I just went ahead and popped a new one on, and it is working, and also my fan just started working, so I'm just gonna do key on, engine off. You hear the fan working now. And if we go ahead and put this thing into 4th gear, flip up the switch, see the light comes on. Also under here, there's this little tiny like foot button thing, and I never was able to figure out what it's for until right now. So we turn on the headlights. Headlights are on. If I go ahead and tap that, it is my high beams, which is pretty cool. Pretty random spot to put them, but I guess it works. So next up, I want to go ahead and take a look under the hood, and there's something I need to address. I don't run this thing often yet, but I'm surprised the belt hasn't flung off yet, because take a look at the angle on that belt from the water pump and the crank to the alternator. Might be hard to tell on camera, but the alternator is crazy far forward, and there is an insane angle on it. Not to mention, it's loose and I can move it with my hand. So what it looks like could be the issue is this bar here is way too long for this, and it's actually like bending out the alternator bracket. Typically alternators either have like spacers so you can adjust it right, but this is just straight up bolted to it. So what I'm going to do is loosen this, see if I can get some movement out of it, and see if it does want to slide back. And if it does, I'm either going to cut this shorter, or at least just drill a new hole into that so it could come back a little bit, or get spacers so we can actually, you know, line it up how it should be. Huh. Wow, that's insane. So I just went ahead and removed the top bolt here, and as you can see, this is the arm. It's not even attached. The part that was bolted to the alternator was this piece right here, the part that snapped off. So that obviously is not doing anything. So I don't even know why they would even bother putting a bolt in it rather than just fixing it. But there is one more mount on the bottom that I need to get to, and then I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just take off this entire alternator, and I might have to order new mounting equipment, because I don't even think that this is even right for this car. So guys, I've just gone ahead and replaced the alternator bracket. As you can see, we have a nice new one that's actually one piece, and we got the belt all lined up, and I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be able to see it here on the bottom. Yeah, definitely not, but right there is brand new hardware. And what I did is put a spacer to basically move the alternator in, and it doesn't have that crazy angle anymore. But right here is the old alternator bracket, which obviously wasn't doing much, so definitely glad that we did this. And along with getting that new alternator bracket, I also went ahead and got some new parts as well. And while waiting for those new parts, I did go ahead and crank out the passenger side webbing as well. So the entire interior is done with the seats, and it feels so good. And I did acquire a few other parts as well, but one thing that I want to go ahead and try and do right now is try and neaten up these gigantic non-retractable seat belts. So on the insides, there's a little tiny hole. Not sure how good you guys will be able to see it, but there's supposed to be a little hanger there that you can go ahead and just toss the basically hook of the seatbelt onto. So we're gonna go ahead and install these little pieces right here, and these should hopefully fit, and then give the interior a neater look. And just like that, they are all hung up, and it looks so much better like that. It's just like not, you know, laying here all in the way. It's definitely a nice touch, so glad we did that. So guys, I'm super stoked on how much we got done in this video. It's definitely ton of progress to getting this thing back on the road. I mean, really, the next step will honestly probably be driving it and just shaking it down and kind of getting these carburetors figured out, because it definitely does not start very good and idle very good at all. So definitely next steps are going to be getting it running right. But with that being said, I'm going to be ending off this video here. Like I said before, just a ton of crucial stuff that we got done, and I'm definitely super happy how everything turned out. But stay tuned for more content with this coming soon, and hopefully a first drive video also coming soon. You guys, follow my social medias. They will be on the outro of this video: Instagram and Snapchat I use the most. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, share friends with the channel.